welcome to my latest guest and I do believe you're number 8 on the virtual interview list. So this is Lisa Diggs. Hi, Lisa.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good.
Lisa, I know we're both Army vets. So I know why I went into the Army, but I'm really kind of interested in what made you decide to join the military and specifically why the Army?
Okay, well, originally, when I was in high school, I wanted to join the Navy to be a cryptologist because I love languages. And I took French, German, and Spanish from middle school to high school. And my teacher said I would be excellent as a diplomat. So I wanted to do that. But my mom would not sign for me at 17. So when I went to college, I joined ROTC, which was Army ROTC, and then I loved it, and I loved the leadership aspect of it. So then I went to the recruiting office, took the ASVAB, and they said when I graduate, I could become a second lieutenant. So I thought this would be a great career for me, and then I could eventually do what I wanted to do when my mom would not sign for me because I was 17. She didn't, she was worried.
Were you still living with your family when you joined the military?
No, I was in college at the University in New Orleans, and I had went there because my grandmother lived there, and I went there to be with my other side of my family. And it was hard for me to be away from home. That was hard already. But I said, Mom, I can be responsible. I'm an only child. I was a firstborn because I have a younger sister, but originally I was an only child. So she always worried, and she was very protective. So I think that's why she didn't want me to join the service in the first place. But I felt it would be a challenge, and it would help me learn and grow and be a team member and be able to grow up and become an adult on my own. I really enjoyed that.
So how long were you in the Army?
I was in the Army National Guard in California and Louisiana for 9 years altogether, total.
Okay. Very good. So what'd you get out as, E6?
No, I was a specialist.
Oh, specialist 4th class?
Yeah, E4.
Yeah, E4. Okay. Well, very good. So now, did you go to college on the GI Bill?
Yes, the Title 31.
Oh, title, and for people that may not know what that is, I know what that is. Can you explain to our audience what Chapter 31 means, or Title 31?
Yes, I was a peacetime soldier. So it was the money that was after Vietnam, they had started doing the GI Bill. So it was the first GI Bill they ever started. And then now they have the 9/11, which I'm not eligible for because I didn't serve in 9/11. I got out in 92, pre-Kuwait. I was a pre-Kuwait vet.
Okay, but you got out to go to college. So when you got out of the military after 9 years, you were able to go to college on the GI Bill, correct?
I actually served and went to college at the same time. Simultaneously, it paid for me. And when I was in Louisiana, I got a waiver, so I didn't have to pay tuition in the state of Louisiana. In California, I got a discount because I wasn't really a resident yet, but because I was in the Guard, they didn't charge me out-of-state fees.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. A lot of that stuff is the GI Bill, the one that they just redid in the last decade is really the best GI Bill ever made for veterans because it allows training in areas and fields that before you could only go to colleges, and now they opened up apprenticeships and union jobs and stuff like that. So
yes.
So anyway, so very good. So I know you are an educator.
Yes.
So what made you decide to go into that kind of work?
Okay, well, my first career, when I was in the military, I joined to be in hospitality because I wanted to be a warrant officer and do the billets and deal with the Army hotels. So when I changed careers in 2002, I had done AmeriCorps. It's like the Peace Corps. It's the Peace Corps for the United States. I did that from 1999 to 2001. And then I got another type of benefit to go to school. And that's when I was a career changer at 36. and I went back to school to become a teacher. And I always wanted to work with kids when I was younger, because like I said, I was a older child, but then baby, like what you call a child that didn't have any siblings. So I always liked helping my family and my cousins and everything. I always ended up helping them with homework. And it just was natural for me to be a teacher, to work with children and help children. And I
So
always worked summer camps and all that fun stuff.
now,
So that paid for me. The AmeriCorps program gave me $7,500, and it paid for me to go back and get my credential, which was supposed to take 2 years with the bachelor's that I already had. But what I found out is that because I was a business major, that wasn't liberal studies. So I had to take liberal studies classes. It ended up taking me 4 years.
oh yeah, okay. Okay, so now, are you a teacher or a teacher's assistant?
No, I'm a teacher. I have a master's in education. I have a certificate in reading from Laverne. And currently I'm going back to school on my voc rehab to become a school counselor
Oh yeah,
at University of Concordia. That's in Irvine.
oh yeah. Well, actually, that's a perfect career for you, I think. Because, but that's basically what I was. I was a counselor. I was a job counselor. You know,
That's right.
help people make the decisions of what are you going to do for the rest of your life and support yourself and your family and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I've known you for about 3-4 years now, and one of the things I do know about you is that, and one of the reasons that I was interested in interviewing you, because I get a lot of requests for people to interview, but I'm extremely picky.
Mm-hmm.
Who I asked to be on the show, or whoever asked me to be on the show, is because the stories I'm looking for are not, it's not just your personal story. Everybody has a story. We all know that. But it's what you are doing in your life right now. And I call it living a life of service to others. Because I think the true reward in life, you know, we can all go out and buy material things, and you can always try to keep up with the Joneses and all that. That's
Mm-hmm.
all well and good. But the really important thing, at least I found this out in my 40s when I ended up with a job as a vet rep for the EDD. Okay. And in that position, I discovered I was empowered to empower others.
Mm-hmm.
And when you discover you have that ability to do that, you know, which is why, you know, you go back to school for counseling is just like the moment you said that, I said, oh yeah, that's perfect job for you, Lisa. That's like click. That's a home run. That's perfect job. Because really what you want to do is help people make a decision that's going to have a positive impact on their lives. And that's certainly no different than what I did as a social worker for veterans for the state of California. Basically is what a vet rep is. So you do in your spare time, whatever spare time you have left, because you work full time, right? Or are you in a part-time position?
Currently, yes. I just finished doing the 2020 census. I worked that from January until September. Well, the last day was the 30th. And then I work for the voter registration right now because the schools are closed. And my position that I had at the school was I was an intervention specialist, which you go into the small group instruction, and you can't do that on Zoom right now. So I said, let me do something that give back. And people need to know how to vote. They need to know where to go and how to register. So I'm doing that until after the election. Hopefully the schools will open back up and I can go back to doing what I do for the children.
What did you think about your military experience? And if you could go back in time and change it, would you? And if not, why?
I really enjoyed, like when I went to basic and tech school, and I had a drill sergeant that looked at me and saw I was a leader, and he was trying to convince me to go into active duty to travel. But I was going to school and I was like, I'm in the Guard, I don't know. But he kind of encouraged me and said, why don't you be soldier of the month? Why don't you do this, that, and go up for these different awards and try to, be a platoon leader. He made me a platoon leader and all that fun stuff, but I couldn't change my contract. So when I got back, actually when I went to California, that's when I got to do active duty. They asked me to go to California Military Academy and work for the E9, which is the sergeant major of the whole post. That's for the people who go to school for NCO school, or they go for lieutenant school. And I was in the training department, which was my area, and I got to be the training coordinator with all of the other officers. And I did the administrative, the schedules and all that. It was really neat. And I got to do that for 2 years. And then I went back, then I went to Cal Poly because I had to wait until I was like a resident. I was going to a 2-year college, and then I got into school. So that was good experience for me. But if I had a chance to go back and do it all over again, I think I would have gone active duty and traveled the world and did, you know, the administration. That would have been kind of neat to go to Germany or somewhere like that.
So Lisa,
Yes.
you changed the quilt on me there, and I want you to tell me why you changed the quilt and the organization that is responsible for making that quilt for you. So go ahead.
Well, I thought about it. I said, you're going to talk to me about different things that have happened in my time as a veteran or whatever. So I thought, let me put up my Quilt of Honor that I received on March 29th, 2019. And this was made by the Quilt of Honor, Barbara Winkler.
You want to hold it up?
Barbara Winkler made this. And on the inside, it's different on the inside as the front.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. She did a really nice job.
And they use materials that they get to, and they make it distinctively for the person. Like they look up things about you, and they figured out my favorite color is green. So they put some green, army green in there because I was an army veteran. And then they made it, you know, they didn't do a red, white, and blue. They don't always do that. So I like this because it's kind of, and it has the stripes like from the flag. See the stripes?
Yep, yep.
Yep, so I really like that.
Lisa, I know you're a member of the AMVETS Post over at Loma Linda. Can you tell me a little bit about your involvement with the AMVETS? Because I really think it's important for veterans to understand the power of belonging to and participating in a veteran service organization.
Well, this one is very unique because there was 4 or 5 women that decided that they wanted to start the first all-women post in Southern California. So it got chartered in 2013. We were at a luncheon that Lindsay Sin was actually at, and she had spoke about how she was very impressed with the fact that Lisa Roble, Ching Trenchard, and Miss Lorraine Hattrick, and they're both waxed. So Ching Trenchard and Miss Lorraine Hartrick are both wax. One's a wave and one's a whack, rather. They wanted to found an organization for women so we're not invisible. Because a lot of time they ask us, are you the wife? Are you not the veteran? Oh, but we want to show that we were serving in different fields, in different service, just different organizations of the Army, the Air Force, Marines. But we first started as women, Army Corps, which is what you were in, and the women, the Waves, which is the what started the Navy, the women that supported the Navy before they became actually in the service. They weren't allowed, they were auxiliaries, they were separate. So we wanted to have our own group so we could help women who are single mothers or women who are, raising kids, and have a camaraderie among the women veterans. So that's what the AMVETS Post 77 represents. And I'm the public relations officer, so my job is to put things on the Facebook page we have, as well as do events that we can go to so we're visible. So I started doing the Agua Caliente Clipper game. I started getting free tickets for us to go to that and for us to go to the LA Sparks and ride on a bus and go to those and be represented there. So I think that's really great.
It is. And I want you to tell us specifically what Lisa Roble does, because I think it's important for people to know.
Oh yeah, Lisa Roble is the director of the Women's Health Clinic that's at Loma Linda, the new ACC, which is their ambulatory center. She founded that. It took a long time because in the hospital, women would go to a doctor and they couldn't find a woman practitioner. She is a nurse practitioner. She felt it's important that women can go in the hospital and get taken care of, but they were still having male gynecologists, and some women don't like that. They want to go to a female, as well as sometimes they would come into the facility and they would be whistled at or called Mr. and these names that are not appropriate. they'd have to go through the back door. So now this organization that she started, this new clinic, they can come into the ACC and they have a separate place to go, and they don't have to feel harassed because they're coming to get medical attention, and their women's exams, their mammograms, and their, all those things that we need as women.
Well, great, because I've known Lisa for a long time, and I've been to, as we all have here in Southern California, if you live in the Riverside area, been to many of her spectacular annual women veteran lunches that she has throughout.
Yes.
They've been very beneficial to all of us. And so thank you, Lisa, for being such a powerful women veterans leader for us. And so now part of being a veteran, I think, is living a life of service in veterans. I brought that up earlier, and you certainly do that. And aside from the census and aside from the situation at school right now, I know that you do a lot for other people. And one of the ways that you do it is you're always posting stuff on Facebook, and you're always sending out emails for people to get involved in whatever veteran event or organization that you participate in. I already told you all the reasons why I can't do that anymore, but it really is just because of the times that we're living in with the COVID-19.
Yes.
I really wish that I could get out of my house more than I do, but I can't.
Yep.
We just do the best that we can. But one of the groups that you're heavily involved in is also a group that Lucy Wong, who was my first virtual interview, is also a member of the Mission Continues, and she went to an event early. Do you know her by chance? Do you know Lucy?
Well, they mentioned her when we went to our training, when we went to the leadership core trainings that we went to, and they had her speak on, they had a panel, but she wasn't there, but they did a video of her.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, she was like my first virtual interview, and
Nice.
she's a terrific artist, Navy veteran, and tells her story of dealing with scleroderma and how she uses sewing and quilting and making masks.
I actually have a mask from her.
As a therapy for her, so she can continue to use her fingers. So anyway, but one of the things we did talk about was Mission Continues. And that's one of the things that I would like to talk to you about is Mission Continues. So can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what Mission Continues is and what you are doing through it?
Yes. Well, Mission Continues is a veteran service organization, but it's kind of unique. It's like similar to the Travis Manion Foundation and the Pat Tillman Foundation. So these are people that were veterans, and they believe in the core values of honor, integrity, the things that we put in as veterans, teamwork, and going out and helping others and paying it forward. So what they did is they recruit veterans from all service areas to join and do the first thing is called a mass deployment. So they go out and do a service project in a city. They don't even know the people. It's just to see how quickly we can come together, which we can, because whenever we're in the military, no one tells us what to do. They just say, okay, go do it. So you just go do it, pick up the stuff and go on and move on and get her done. So they believe in getting it done. So I didn't join as a mass deployment. I joined as a service leader corps leadership cohort 2. And I did that last year, but then we had to stop in, unfortunately, we stopped in Atlanta. We couldn't go and do our final project in Washington, D.C. But you go to 4 cities in 6 months. The first time you go, you do a service project. We did it at a food bank in Texas. And then the next time we went to St. Louis and we went to Ferguson, and we learned about inclusion and how to treat people of different backgrounds because of racial, the racial tension that happened in Ferguson, and to let us understand that as veterans, we're supposed to include everyone. And then the last one, we went to Atlanta, and we went to Martin Luther King's memorial there, and we got to meet his aunt. And she spoke and brought a book about herself and how she was raised in the King family, and just about social justice and all that. And then the last one was, we did a presentation. Of course, they gave us a project to do, and our project I did with Irma Cooper. She's actually a fellow veteran that's on the council that we just met earlier when we were doing the thing. We had to do the National Park Association, where we worked with the Rim of the World, it's called the Rim of the Valley, which is in the Vertigo Mountains, where how we can do trail management and how we can help with preventing fires and things like that. And it set a tone on me, because when I was in the Guard, I used to have to do that in the California Guard. When there was a fire, I had to go and help, like pass out water or whatever. So it brought me back to that again. And when I met Dennis, who is the guy in charge, he was like, well, what we're going to do is go to Channel Islands, and we're going to go there and work with whatever that's the different flora that they grows there, and protect the flora. But of course, we had to stop the project because of COVID-19, and we couldn't even go and do the lobbying. We were going to go to San Francisco, Sacramento, and then we were going to go to DC to lobby, because we want to talk to the governor and the mayor about protecting the wildlife. So when we're doing these projects, so that's what we do. We do a lot of that. We work with different partners and companies, so that and now we're doing a big project. It's called Project Nourish. And last weekend we put together food boxes to give to people. And that's what I do too, is that I go and get food boxes when they do a giveaway and someone can't come because they have COVID or they're afraid to get COVID. I take boxes, put them in my car, and I go deliver them to the vets that are shut in. That's what I do.
So what's in the boxes?
It's a dairy box. It comes with milk, cheese, 18 eggs in there. And then there's a separate one that's all like non-perishable. So it'll be like pasta and pasta sauce and, things that are not rice and beans. So I took like 15 boxes, and I did 2 trips and got it in my car, and I went and took it to different people. And I also tell people about food banks and things that are around in the area so they can get food as well. I try to tell all our veterans where to pick up food.
Well, and of course, because of the times that we're living in, because of the COVID, and so many people either reduced working or no work at all, times are tough and people need to eat. So that's really a worthwhile thing. And I haven't accessed any of those benefits because I think there are a lot of people out there that need it much more than I do. I have enough of an income to where I can buy my own groceries and I can take care of myself. So it's like, it's something I think it's for people that are really in more dire straits than I am.
Uh-huh.
So it's the giving of yourself to others that I find most intriguing in people that I have met in the last, let's see, I retired from my job in 2004. So I think I became a vet rep in 1992. So during that time forward, it wasn't until I got that job and I was working in that job that it dawned on me the secret of success in life. And it really is not the latest car and the latest clothes and all of that. I mean, all of that is great. I'm not knocking it. Okay, I like it as much as the next person. But what it really is being in service to others. I do it through producing the TV show. That's one of the main reasons I do. This is my way of giving back. There's something about being in the military that, I don't know, it prepares you for life in a way that most civilian jobs do not. I mean, I know that's kind of a generalization, but do you want to speak to that a little bit of how you think the military made a difference for you serving in it, and then now because you do so much for so many other people?
Giving back type job. So right now I'm working for the voter registration, but I've always been a poll worker or a volunteer for that. but to give back to our country, being a patriot and being a person who loves my country. I do love my country, and I want what's best. And I talked to a lady today, and she was very worried about her vote. And I said, we take an oath. So I can totally agree with the oath, because the same oath we take in the military is the oath you take at the voter office about protecting our country, domestic and foreign and all that. You say the same stuff. And I can totally agree with that everyone has an opportunity. We fought for people to vote. Everyone should have a right to vote, and it should be bipartisan. We shouldn't be fighting about who's what, who's Democrat, who's Republican, who's who's no preference. Just make sure everyone gets their vote in. So I try to be, at my job, I try to be as diplomatic as possible and don't put my own opinions in it, but just to let them know that we're here to serve you, because we're in a service type position where we're giving back to our community in a civic way. And like the AmeriCorps experience I had, and then being in the military, all that has given me leadership skills and given me the ability to work as a team and to help other people and to be as diplomatic and caring and paying it forward to my fellow citizens in my community. I'm very concerned about our kids, and that right now during this COVID, how are they dealing with that? So we did the RUSS, which is Resilience Under Stress survey, and we did the Family Lifestyle survey, and I push that all the time that we should do that. Then the other thing is, just look at your next door neighbor, the person around you. If you see they're in need, don't make them feel like, like you're doing something to look seen. I don't take pictures of when I give people things. If I see someone, like some girls just moved into our complex and they go to UCR and they just moved in. And I had extra food that I had picked up from a pantry. And I said, do you guys like juice? Do you like this? Whatever. I just went and got some things and put it in a bag and took it over to their apartment. So just be a blessing to someone else. If you're blessed and you have overflow, don't keep it for yourself. Don't hoard it. Give it out. Give it to someone else, because you could be a blessing to someone. And that's what I try to do at work too. When I go to work, I have extra little things. I just put it on somebody's desk. You need a bar, you need something to eat. Just be caring. And that's all I try to do. And so that's why I guess and there's a scripture about that. It says, when you give unto others, you give unto him. And God sees what you do. You don't need to be seen. God knows what you're doing. He sees what you're doing. And he watches us and he sees our kindness. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, because I have friends who are Sikhs that are doing that right now. All over the United States, the Sikh community feeds people every day because it's part of their beliefs to help their neighbor. It's called langar, and they feed them. So we have a friend that's here in Riverside, and he's been doing that since the pandemic. He gives away milk and dairy boxes every Saturday now. So you just have to be a source and a help to someone else. That's all I can say.